Hey, what is up YouTube? It's Malorn here, and I'm here with another great video for you guys today. So, for those of you who may remember my last video about the Outlaws Refuge, I'm currently in that castle, but that's not what today's video is about. Today we are going to be talking about how I maximize as much storage as possible on my wizard, or on my account. Now, this doesn't just include backpack space, this includes things like treasure cards, reagents. I don't really collect pet snacks, but if I did, it'd probably work for that too. Just general things like that, you know? Now, this is going to focus a lot on the necessity of having multiple accounts. And by multiple accounts, I mean drone accounts. Okay, so um, you create a bunch of accounts, you create a bunch of wizards on the account, and you can trade treasure cards to it, and you can store your treasure cards on those wizards. And obviously, if you ever want to level those wizards up, then you have extra accounts to make it easy, or you have extra accounts already set up so you can start playing. You know, maybe your account gets boring, your old one, you want to start a new one. Well, you already have like 5 or 6 set up, why not start working on those? And you've got them set up so they at least have a nice little, some treasure cards to start out with, right? Um, but for the time being, I currently have 5 drone accounts and I have this account. I have not logged into my drone accounts in a while, but there are a lot of treasure cards stored on these drone accounts. Um, I don't know if KI cares about this or not. I'm not sure if it's a problem for them. If it was, and it was made known to me, then, I would definitely do something to fix it, because I don't want to see an account that I've had since I was in middle school. I don't want to see it banned for something silly like that. But at the same time, I feel like it would be kind of silly to get upset about having multiple drone accounts to begin with. It's not really an advantage over other players, it's just being smart about something, and everyone can do it. So again, it's not an advantage over other players. Um, Another thing is utilize a lot of the tools provided by KI. Now, this does involve using actual money. There is no way to maximize as much storage as possible on your account without spending real life money or spending an insane amount of time on crafting. One of the best ways to expand your account storage capabilities is this baby right here, the Expand Backpack Elixir. It can increase your storage to a maximum of 250 items in your backpack per wizard. Alright, so right off the bat, you go from 150 to 250. Snap of a finger. Alright, it costs you 5,000 crowns in total per wizard, so that's, if you have 6 wizards on your account, that's 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 25, 30,000 crowns that you'll be spending on it, but it is well worth the money. And obviously, you don't have to buy all the crowns all at once. You don't. It takes a little bit of time to actually figure out what strategy you're going to go with, but it doesn't have to happen immediately. There's no need for that. That'd be ridiculous. All right, spend some time, work on it slowly. Don't feel like you need all of the space immediately. Okay, especially if you're a new wizard, you're a new player, or maybe you're like a level 50 or 60, and you're looking to expand your storage capabilities. Don't feel like it's necessary to immediately jump at every every available item that you can use the second that it becomes available to you. Don't feel like you need to do that. Alright, you've got plenty of time. This game's not going anywhere. Alright, save up some money first. Don't waste your money like that. So, 30,000 crowns for the Expand Backpack Elixir for all of your wizards. And then obviously, again, if you have your own accounts, you can do this on those too, and then bada bang, bada boom, you've got even more storage. Now, the thing about the drone accounts is obviously you can't trade items to these accounts. Okay, you can't trade like hats and robes and boots, right? You can't do that. However, having that extra storage available still never hurts. It couldn't hurt you. If you've got the money to spend, and I don't mean, you just have money in general, make sure you have extra money. Alright, make sure you have some extra spending cash. Don't use money that you're using to buy food or anything on this. I never recommend that when I recommend people buy crowns. Make sure it's extra cash. Alright, it always has to be extra. Next is the additional castle elixir. Now, this, on any wizard, you can literally just keep buying these over and over and over and over and over, and there's absolutely no limit to how many castles you can have on a wizard. So as long as you can physically obtain a castle, you can use this elixir. Obviously, there's only so many, by physically obtain, I mean obviously there's only so many castles in the game, and you can have one of each castle per wizard. And looking at it right now, I don't have all of the castles yet, right? I have 28 castles, but this is what I'm working with on just my storm. Alright, this is just my storm wizard. I have 28 castles on this, and then I've got 3 castles on my balance, and some of my noob wizards have, 2 or 3 castles. I'm still working on maximizing even more storage on the wizards. The only thing is I've been spending a lot of crowns on the additional castle elixirs on my storm. I haven't really moved on to any of my other wizards, but at some point I will do that, which the more castles I have, the more pets I'll be able to hold, the more mounts I'll be able to hold. And since wands can be attached to walls, the more wands I'll be able to hold. With mannequins, the more gear that I'll be able to keep in storage without having to worry about it filling up my backpack space. Because when you put gear on mannequins, they don't count towards the housing items. They're not housing items, they're gear. The mannequin is the housing item. So it's basically free storage. It just takes a lot of time to craft them. Alright, you have to be patient because it's not easy. Mannequins are also a very big part of the strategy. You need mannequins, otherwise you are missing free available storage. As for the mannequins, I haven't completely put them into motion yet. Like, that plan is not completely in motion. However, I have tested mannequins before, and I know for a fact the gear doesn't count towards the item. The mannequin does. I'm not sure if it's 7 mannequins per wizard or 7 mannequins per castle. If it's 7 mannequins per castle, then you can have a total of 7 male and 7 female. That's 14 mannequins in total for every castle you have. So if you've got 28 castles, that's a lot of mannequins that you can have. And obviously, the more crowns gear, the more bundle gear, maybe you farm dark more a lot, maybe you did a lot of farming in Hades, maybe, I don't know, and I do watch Blaze Lifehammer, shout out to you. If you want to start like a crazy Darkmoor collection, perfect way to go, use those mannequins. Those mannequins need to be utilized in order to have a large amount of storage on your wizard. Obviously, my plan is still in motion, but at the moment, I have a crap ton of storage on my account in general, just from the simple things I have already done. Alright, such as getting a lot of castles. Again, this plan relies on crowns. It does, and I know that kind of sucks. I don't have a free option beyond crafting a bunch of what I'm about to bring up as my next point. You can either craft or buy these. They are the vaults. Now, you can have one of each per castle. This I am well aware of because you've got multiple gear vaults through multiple wizards. Through multiple castles. Let me see if I can find them real quick. They are right here. So, you've got the seed vault, you've got the gear vault, and you've got the jewel vault. I actually crafted all of my gear vaults. I did purchase the jewel vault because when I was trying to get it, I just got really impatient. I decided to buy it. So, I did purchase the jewel vault, and I crafted one seed vault, and I purchased the other 2 that I currently have in my possession. When you buy seed vaults, you can put seeds in them, and you can hold up to 100 seeds per vault. So if you've got 28 castles, you can hold a maximum of 2,800 seeds. I repeat, 2,800 seeds. Alright, that's one seed vault per castle. 2,800 seeds. Obviously, actually reaching that amount of seeds is not likely. You're not likely to ever have 2,800 seeds in your possession, but if you ever did, that is a way to go. I think KI has done really good with providing available options for wizards to increase the amount of storage on their account, because before, if you ran out of storage, you were done. It was darn near impossible to open up a decent amount of storage in your wizard without having to move a bunch of stuff around, and you'd spend hours in your day having to move stuff from your attic to your backpack to your backpack to your shared bank to other wizards, banks, shared banks, whatever, it's like, it was a mess. Alright, attics just filled up, and you wanted to quickly clean up a castle, you couldn't because your attic's filled, so you can't pick any more stuff up. They've really done a good job at making it a lot more organized. Alright, and if you spend the time to obtain items in this game, you should be allowed to keep them. You shouldn't be forced to get rid of them due to some ridiculous limitations on the amount of stuff that you can own. Obviously, I think that having some kind of limitation early in the game is alright, but again, like they've done, they should provide options to expand storage and eventually have, basically an unlimited amount. Because when you're at a max level, you have a lot of stuff usually. Especially if you're a collector like me, you're going to have a lot of items. You're going to own a lot of stuff in this game. Okay, a lot of it you won't use, but you have it because you're collecting it. There are collectors everywhere. Not all of them collect as much stuff as I do. Some of them choose specific things like pets, wands. I think some of them it's like a castle block, or not castle block, castle magic thing. I wouldn't really consider them collectors. They're more experimentalists, I think. Like, is that the word that I'm looking for there? They're the people that go out and anytime something new and like really exciting is released, they will experiment with it and play with it until they have deduced every living thing possible about it. And they will make all these pictures and awesome videos about it. They'll make these tutorials and you're just sitting there in awe, like these people are absolute geniuses, But they're not exactly collectors. They are incredibly intelligent. I have to give them that. I watched some of those videos and I was like, wow, I am not creative. Like, it made me feel puny. Alright. The next thing, and this doesn't really count, but obviously, you can also have, where are they? What, I literally just saw them housing, go to furniture. These little things, these little monster domes. You can have, I think it's 7 per castle. So you can have 7 of these in each castle. Either that or 7 per wizard. Again, I really wish this was clarified a little bit more, but I think, don't take my word for this, I think it's 7 per castle. Alright, so you can have a total of 7 per castle. If that is the case, then it would be possible to actually collect monster duels to a certain extent. Obviously, if there's 7 per castle, there's only so many castles you can have on a wizard because there's only so many castles available in the game. But given the idea that, hey, you have 28, 30, 40 castles, that is still a lot of castle duels, and you can go out there and get some of the hardest bosses in the game and maybe collect, like, in-the-world bosses or something like that, like Malistaire the Undying. I do believe that you can actually get him in this thing. Like the one at the end of Darkmoor, that Malistaire the Undying, I always thought that was pretty cool. I personally have never been brave enough to attempt that, but if I was, I would definitely do it. So that's just a thought. I mean, it's not really storage related, but at the same time, if you're a collector, maybe you can figure out something to do with that. I don't know, you can collect different types of bosses in the game and put them in your monster dome. Another thing, and this is something that KI kind of did for everyone on their own, treasure cards. You can have 999 treasure cards per wizard, and when you do the math, for 6 wizards, that adds up to a lot. And then if you have drone accounts, that adds up to even more. Like, there is no limit to the amount of treasure cards that you can have on, that you can have available to you now. I know for a fact that there's already people creating drone accounts for treasure cards. That's been a thing for a very, very long time now. Especially for people who do a lot of PvPing, they'll have drone accounts to store extra treasure cards on because, they're wizards. Maybe they PvP with all their wizards and certain treasure cards being on that wizard kind of get in the way. They take up storage that is kind of inconvenient to be taken up. Um, but they're really useful. It's always useful to have drone accounts, and I don't know if it's against KI policy. I think if it was, that would be absolutely asinine. It would be ridiculous. All right. I mean, if that's the case, why make the option even available to people? It would completely ruin the point of creating multiple accounts to begin with. And again, it provides no advantage over the players. I'm stating this multiple times because KI has done some pretty ridiculous stuff in the past, and I don't want to see any kind of repeat of that process when it comes to the leaps and bounds and steps they've already taken towards doing something slightly good. Alright, I usually try not to, harp on the KI about certain things, but occasionally you have to admit they get kind of ridiculous with the rules. Um, Next up, another thing that you're going to want to attempt, and this is the last part for the most part of the plan, is another potion. We're going to go up here. It is called the Bric-a-brac elixir. Now, what the Bric-a-brac elixir does is it allows you to increase your housing storage capabilities to 350 items on the inside and then on the outside. So you can have a total of 700 items in your castle maximum. If you've got 20 castles with 700, 1400, 2100, it starts adding up really, really, really fast. And again, pets, wands, castle blocks, castle magic, mounts, all of these things can be put into castles. You can create mannequins and you can put gear onto them. You can put vaults. You set your vaults down in the castles, right? Well, there you go. Housing space is everything. If you're a collector or if you're looking to maximize the amount of space on your account, housing space is going to be everything. That is the biggest part of the plan, because if you don't have all the money in the world to spend on, a bunch of bric-a-brac elixirs or a bunch of expand backpack elixirs, and maybe you have a little bit of money, always choose the additional castle elixir over either of these, always, because this right here is going to be the best thing that you can possibly do for your account. You can store just about anything in a castle, and the more castles you have, the more you can store. Alright, if you can store 700 items in each castle, then you're good to go. You don't even need the backpack space anymore. You just have to figure out a way to, I guess, things like the gear, the hats, the robes, and the boots are going to be a little bit more complicated. That's my point. But again, jewel vaults pretty much solve that problem now. One jewel vault per wizard, that's 100. If you have 20 jewel vaults right off the bat, you've got 2,000 items that you're able to hold in your castles alone. And that's gear, hats, robes, boots, wands, atoms, rings, all of that. 2,000 if you have 20 castles. If you've got as many as me, you can hold 2,800 in total. I can have 31 castles right now, so I can hold 3,100 items spread throughout all of my castles. 3,100 robes, 3,100 wands, 3,100 hats. You can have a lot of stuff. For the most part, I mean, that's pretty much it. Obviously, if you collect fish, as storage-wise, that's never really been a problem. You just continue buying as many fish tanks as you want, or crafting them, obviously. You can buy them with crowns, you can craft them. I think occasionally they come from the, what is it, the little, daily quest things. I think there are a drop from those, I'm not entirely sure. I know for a fact that you can actually fish for them. They come from some chests throughout the spiral. Obviously that takes a lot more effort and a lot more time. So if you're not that patient, craft them, buy them, that kind of stuff. But there isn't really a limit besides just how much storage you have, how much castle storage you have available to you. Again, right off the bat, you see castle storage coming into play. If you have a bunch of multi-tanks, you can have 350. No, you can have 700 multi tanks per wizard. I think the multi-tanks, I mean per castle, I think the multi-tanks hold like 8 or 9 fish. So that's 9 times, what? 9 times 700 for one castle alone. Guys, that's a lot of fish. 700, 1400, 2100. It starts adding up really, really fast. Alright? And again, these numbers are kind of crazy. No one's ever going to have that much stuff. I'm just saying it is possible, and I am trying to tell you guys how. Alright, and another thing, again, drone accounts, if you're a collector, just having stuff in general is kind of the point. So whether or not the stuff that you have is on one account or another, as long as you have it, you can still technically consider it part of your collection. It doesn't have to be on one wizard. A collector doesn't care. It's just if it's on, you know, if you possess that item, if you own that item in general, then it is part of your collection. So if you've got 3 drone accounts and all of your drone accounts have a bunch of max level wizards, and each of them have a bunch of items that obviously you can't transfer wands or anything from one account to another. So if you've got one super rare item on one account and another super rare item on another account, then you still technically own both of them, they just can't be moved. Which I really wish there was a way you could move them. That would be nice. I mean, if they're auctionable, you can sell them in the bazaar, but then one, you run the risk of them being bought before you get them back. Or, obviously, most of the rare items in the game, you can't sell them in the bazaar. You know, they're not auctionable to begin with. Crowns items in general, you can't sell there. So it's like, okay, right off the bat, I say right off the bat a lot, though. You know, you immediately, that option's gone. Second, it's a crowns item. Or, you know, some of the drops, like something from, Darkmoor or Tartarus, that kind of stuff, you know, can't auction that either. I don't know if I sounded super monotone this entire video. I know that I was kind of stuttering a little bit. I do apologize for that. I got home like 2 hours ago from an 8-hour shift, and it's Sunday, and I was working, you know, right now I'm working retail, so it is not something that, you know, over the last 18, 19 years, I am not used to that. I've been working there for 9 months now, and I still have not been able to properly function after 8 hours of work on a Sunday afternoon. It, I, it anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, be sure to comment, and be sure to subscribe for more amazing content. I will try not to make videos on Sundays anymore. Then again, I'm only going to be working there for 2 more weeks, and then, guys, while I was previously going to be traveling around the country, that plan has been put on hold. It is still something I have planned sometime in like the next 2-3 years, but for now I will be moving to the great city of New Orleans, Louisiana. So that should be fun. I'm hoping to have a lot of really good content from New Orleans to show you guys because it is a really fun city. At nighttime it gets a little crazy, so I'm not sure if you'll see any kind of videos from me then, because to be honest, you wouldn't there's so much to see at nighttime in New Orleans that it's almost impossible to see anything at all. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, be sure to leave a like, be sure to comment, and be sure to subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.